Supreme Week 7 drops this upcoming Thursday, October 8th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can calculate what time that will be for you. This drop is highlighted by the fall tees as well as the Supreme Fox collaboration. I think this is personally my favorite week so far, and it looks like a lot of other people are saying this is the best week that we've had so far. I know the last couple weeks have been pretty rough. Collaboration wise, there hasn't been too much, but the fall tees are looking good, and the Fox collaboration is like, I don't know, pretty like mid-tier for me, but there are a lot of good lookbook pieces or interesting lookbook pieces dropping as well. But with that being said, we will get into it. I'm showing it off a little bit different than the usual. The norm is just that I grab some Instagram pictures, put them up on the side, but for now we're going to try the Supreme community website. I'll put that up on the left hand side as you will see now, and then I'll scroll through it. Hopefully it looks good. As you guys can see, this is not the full drop list. There will be a couple more pieces added to this drop list, maybe an accessory or something. That's usually what comes in late, and if those leak before I finish editing the video, I will put the full updated drop list at the very end, so keep an eye out for that. And we will get into it. First off, we have the box logo long sleeve, which I think I'm correct when I say this is the first actual like box logo long sleeve that there's been. I think other than the actual like just legit box logo, we only have gotten crewnecks. I don't think we've actually gotten a long sleeve before, but I could be wrong. But I think this is cool. You know, it's a staple piece. They've done some wacky colors before, so I do appreciate the tonal ones. I think those always work out pretty well, especially for the colorways that they do use. As far as the graphic goes, it does look like it is screen printed instead of embroidered on. For the colorways, we do have a list of colors that are allegedly dropping. We got black, white, heather gray, red, navy, purple, forest or forest green, which is the one we saw above, an orange, and a yellow. And the orange has also been teased. It's kind of the one that Supreme showed off for their fall tees, because I guess this is considered one of the fall tees or like the seasonal tees, which is kind of interesting. We're also going to get the Supreme Colgate toothpaste accessory, which just a tube of toothpaste. And this is a funny one because people for years have been saying or comparing the Supreme logo to the Colgate logo. You can see the Colgate font down below, obviously a little bit different, but very similar still, especially with that red colorway or that red background against the white text. But yeah, I don't see this retailing for too much. Obviously Supreme usually jacks up the price on whatever accessory they do, but this is just toothpaste. Like, I can't imagine this is going to be something ridiculous, you know, like in the $20-$30 range. Hopefully it's only like, I don't know, $10 or something. Moving on, we have the Futura logo crewneck, and interestingly enough, on the first week 1 drop all the way back then, we had the Futura tee, which dropped in the like first batch of seasonal tees. But yeah, I think this is a cool piece. This is one of those ones that is kind of getting up there with like the Motion logo and stuff, where it's a little bit more sought after, a little bit more iconic. But the colorways, some of them just aren't hitting for me. If you look at it, we have stuff like green on yellow and like a navy on purple, and some of the colorways are just a little bit off for me. And personally, and I feel like, you know, a lot of people feel the same way, this logo doesn't just like, it doesn't stack up against the Motion logo or the box logo for me. Obviously still like kind of a cool spell out, but not quite there for me. Moving on, we have the big logo beanies, which I threw mine on for this video. These are something that release every winter, I think, and obviously you can see the black colorway is even being re-released. I think they do the black colorway every season, and I think they have interesting colorways this season. Specifically the plaid ones are interesting, but I also like that like blaze orange, also the purple, and then the red on white is a cool flip too. So I really like all the colorways here. Maybe not that green plaid, but it's still kind of cool that they did a different pattern, at least with that plaid for the beanies. As far as the beanies themselves go, these are very comfortable. I'm not sure if it'll be the same material. I assume it will be. It's like a cashmere blend, so it's pretty soft. They obviously fit pretty big. You know, there's a lot of room going on up here, and I myself have a massive dome, so you guys can try to scale that for yourself. But it fits perfect for me. I love these beanies. Maybe I'll go for it, but there's kind of other stuff that I'd rather try for first. Next up, we start getting into some of the seasonal or fall tees. We have the first tee, the sun tee, and this, you know, just has a graphic of a sun. He's got his hands spread out kind of like menacingly, and then it says Supreme in flames, and got a little bit of a sinister look on his face. And I think this is a cool design. I like all the flames and stuff going on, but this is another one where I feel like it won't really work well with a lot of the colorways, because you can't really flop the color of this and make it really work that well. Moving on, we have a Smurfs tee, which is interesting because last week we had the Smurfs collaboration. We had all the Smurfs pieces dropping, and it looks like we're actually getting a t-shirt this time around as well, which has just the like generic vanilla Smurf. I don't know what his name is. He's hopping. I think they use this same exact graphic for a couple other ones, or that like pose that he's in, and then flip it over on the back and we get that big Smurf spell out that they've been using. And depending on the colorways, like I feel like they'll do a blue one, obviously. Like I feel like they have to. It'd be really weird if they didn't. But we also get this red one, and then there was a lime green one, or like blaze yellow one teased, which I don't know. It's all right, but I'm not crazy about it. Kind of reminds me of like one of those Disney tees where you'd see like a giant Mickey or something. Moving on, we have a tee that I was kind of a fan of, though I'm not really feeling this colorway. There's another colorway where it's just like a white background. I'm not exactly sure what the origin of the design is or the reference that they're going for is, but it says ultra fresh above, and then it's got like some green leaves, and it says Supreme and almost like an icy spell out. I feel like it's something more towards like toothpaste. I feel like this might be another like toothpaste thing that they're going for. But this might be one of my favorite ones. I like that, especially in the white colorway, but once again, that maroon one doesn't do it for me. This one also gained quite a few upvotes. This is the scratch tee. We just have a bunch of different colors kind of scribbled, and then you have this like Supreme scratched out, or maybe it's done in like a pastel color where it's like drawn, and then you go back on the canvas or whatever and like scrape out the spell out. But yeah, saw a lot of upvotes for this one. This one just, I don't know, it doesn't really do it for me. It's not a bad one by any means. Like, this is a really good batch of fall tees or seasonal tees in general, but this one just, I don't know, I wasn't really feeling it. Next up, we have the Supreme Clientele tee, or just labeled as the Clientele tee. On the front, we have the Supreme Clientele graphic, of course, from the Ghostface Killah of Wu-Tang fame. He had the album come out back in like the early 2000s, I think, somewhere around there. And then on the back, we just have the Ghostface Killah spell out, and then the track list for it, and a tiny little Supreme box logo. Very similar to the Jizza shirt that they did, I want to say last year or maybe 2 years ago. They appear to do like a lot of stuff with the Wu-Tang clan, which makes sense since they're New York based with Supreme. But this is literally just the Supreme Clientele graphic ripped off from that album. A cool tee though. I think maybe deserves more upvotes, but then again, it is just that graphic ripped off, so not too creative. Moving forward, we have the Supreme Fox racing hooded sweatshirt. This is probably my favorite piece from the small collaboration that we're going to get. I like the color blocking. I like the colors that they use. You know, if you want more quiet stuff, you get that all black one. And then I'm not crazy about the orange and gray one, though it's not a bad colorway. I think the magenta and kind of like gold one works a little bit better. It looks a little cooler, it's more interesting. And then I do like how it's kind of half and half. We have a lot of each of the colors used, whereas some of the other pieces it's a little more minimal on one of the other colors than opposed to the other color. Moving on, we have the Velvet Camp Cap, which I think are a pretty beautiful hat. Really looks like it's almost like corduroy, but it does say velvet. The only thing I wish they did differently was instead of that red box logo on that brown colorway, they went with just a tonal, so brown on brown, which looks like they did for all the other ones. You know, you have black on black, navy on black, and then we get that black on black for the checkered. But I think these are nice pieces. I do enjoy or like the like brown leather strap that they use for the back. Getting into some more of the fall tees, we have the Pills tee, which I don't care for this one at all. It's hard to tell if they have like little tiny Supreme detailings. I'm sure they do somewhere in that graphic. But if you're thinking this graphic or this pattern looks a little familiar, they do use this on some other pieces, or maybe it's just one other piece. I think they did a skate deck though, and then they also have like this bed, this like foldable modular bed that's coming out where it just has that pattern literally all over it, and then a big Supreme spell out along that pattern. But that tee I'm not feeling at all. We also have the Stonewash Sweater, which is just kind of, you know, like simple, really basic Stonewash stuff. Then you get that spell out going across the chest. We can get a close up here, and you know, it doesn't look like a bad sweater, but pretty basic. We also have the rest of the Fox collaboration showing up here. We have this Puffy racing jacket, which, you know, this kind of showcases what I was talking about, where how one color is a lot more dominant than the secondary color. But yeah, I guess that black colorway is kind of cool, and I don't know, just the way the magenta shows up on this fabric compared to the hoodie, like I don't like it as much. And then the design in general, I'm just not really feeling it as much, so that passed for me. Then we also have the Sweatpant that goes along with those, and once again, it's just kind of one color is dominating over it a little bit more. I would have liked to see maybe a little bit more half and half, or maybe they did like a little patch around the knee. A lot of dirt biking or like motocross pants have padding in the knee because if you fall or whatnot. So, but yeah, maybe that would have been cool to see. And then also, I'm just not big on the crotch branding, so that's a little strange for me. But the hoodie was all right. And I think this is the last, this is the last seasonal tee that we're going to get, the Supreme Dicks tee, which features a bunch of women in lingerie, and then up on the top we have Supreme Dicks written, which this is the lowest voted one, and I'm not feeling it at all. Like, they could even change up the colorways. There's just nothing like really redeeming about this design that like really appeals to me. I don't know. And that brings us to the Tartan Flannel shirt, which I'm really not a big fan of the colorways used here. That pink one's gross, and then that far left one, not feeling that either. The only one that's kind of all right is the far right one, which is this like yellow, red, and black and white one, which I think is decent. As far as branding, all we have is this little tab on the pocket, which is super hard to see for you guys, but there is like an actual pocket there, and then you get a little tab on the left side of that pocket. This is also the week of the infamous Dragon hockey jersey, which I think is a just ridiculous and wild piece. Like, this is one of those, like, I don't know, I'm sure they copied it from somewhere or got like, they took like heavy inspiration from a pre-existing design, but this is like just crazy. It's a super loud piece, and I think it's a fun design. Personally, I'm not crazy about the neck of it. As far as hockey stuff goes, I'd like to see maybe like a hooded one, or where they have like the drawstring or like shoelace or whatever that kind of ties it together. I'm a much more bigger fan of those types of hockey jerseys rather than this one. I think this just looks like a little bit more lame. But flop it over on the back, and another thing I'm not too crazy about is how they just use the same graphic for the front and the back. I would have liked to see them switch it up, but a crazy piece, not a lot of upvotes on it, and I also wouldn't buy it, but I respect it in a sense. Moving on to the last piece, we have this Lamf, L-A-M-F, short sleeve top, and this will be an expensive one. It's like one of their cotton jerseys, and it just says L-A-M-F. I'm not exactly sure what this stands for, but yeah, I'm not feeling this. I wouldn't pay any money for this. It looks like a ripoff of like a Dare t-shirt, so there you go. So that wraps up week 7, probably my personal favorite week of the season thus far. I think there's probably something in there for pretty much everybody. But with that being said, if you did enjoy the video, feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe, or don't do any of that. That's fine too. And as always, thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Good luck on the drop.